Welcome back to the channel Coin Star. Today's video, coin collectors and treasure hunters. You're about to discover the incredible story of a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1969 Roosevelt dime from the United States, that has astounded collectors worldwide not just because it bears the iconic profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, but because of an astonishing error that transformed its humble face value of just 10 cents into an eye-watering market worth of $85.7 million. That's right, a coin that could once be found in your pocket change might now be worth more than a luxury yacht or a mansion, and today, we're diving deep into the fascinating tale of how this happened, why it happened, and how to tell if you might have one of these valuable gems hiding in your coin jar. The Roosevelt dime, first minted in 1946, was designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, to honor President Roosevelt after his death in 1945. The coin quickly became a staple of American currency, striking hundreds of millions annually. However, not all dimes are created equal. The 1969 D version, minted at the Denver Mint, is now famous for an ultra-rare set of minting anomalies that have pushed its collectible value to jaw-dropping levels. What makes this particular dime so incredibly valuable lies in a perfect storm of production errors, rarity, die flaws, and mint mark misplacements, factors that are treasured by numismatists. For a coin to skyrocket from 10 cents to $85.70 million, there must be an extraordinary story behind it, and that's exactly what we're going to unravel. In 1969, as the U.S. Mint was transitioning through various changes in quality control and mechanical upgrades, certain coins managed to slip through with mistakes that would later become the stuff of legend. One such mistake involves the mint mark, the small letter found on coins indicating where it was produced. Normally, D indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, but on some of these 1969 dimes, the D appears to be repunched, misaligned, or even doubled, an anomaly known as RPM or repunched mint mark. These rare errors weren't immediately noticed, and it took years before the numismatic community began to understand their significance. The repunched mint mark is just the beginning. In some known examples of the 1969 D Roosevelt dime, you'll find striking doubling errors, a form of error known as double die obverse, DDO, where the coin design appears to have been stamped twice slightly off register, resulting in a noticeable doubling effect, particularly on the date, lettering like Liberty, In God We Trust, and even on Roosevelt's eye and hair. The doubling is crisp and clear in known specimens, which makes them stand out sharply from normal coins. This kind of error is rare and valuable in any denomination, but especially so on a dime with the history and production background like the 1969 D. Even more astonishing are coins reported to contain a combination of doubling and repunched mint mark errors, a hybrid anomaly that further intensifies the desirability and uniqueness of the coin. Because very few were ever found, and most likely destroyed in circulation, the surviving examples are worth an astronomical amount. Add to that the fact that many of these errors weren't widely known to the public or even many collectors until decades later, and you get the perfect recipe for a coin whose value grew exponentially due to scarcity, demand, and mystery. Another factor that boosts the value of the 1969 D Roosevelt dime is the condition. Coin grading plays a vital role in determining value. A coin with these errors that also grades high, such as mint state, MS, 65 or above from respected grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, can fetch unbelievable prices. Coins in lower grades are still highly valuable, but it's those near-perfect condition dimes that reach the stratosphere in auctions. The most famous known specimen reportedly sold in a private collector's auction for $85.7 million, a figure that might sound too good to be true, but when we consider the historic importance, extreme rarity, condition, and the intrigue surrounding its errors, it becomes a believable benchmark for elite collectors seeking one-of-a-kind pieces. Beyond mint mark and doubling issues, there are even more mysterious error stories attached to the 1969 D Roosevelt dime. Some collectors have reported alignment errors, where the front and back of the coin are not perfectly matched, leading to a rotated die error. Others have found die cracks, cut marks, or planchet flaws where metal blobs appear on the surface of the coin due to breaks or impurities in the minting dies. Such defects, although usually small, make coins highly collectible because they represent a failure in the precision-driven process of minting. Furthermore, it's worth mentioning the historical significance of the time period. The late 1960s were turbulent years in American history with political unrest, social change, and significant shifts in governmental institutions. Collectors often assign cultural and historical meaning to coins from such eras, especially when they contain unexpected imperfections. Owning a coin that ties into this tumultuous period adds another layer of value, especially when it's paired with one-in-a-million minting mistakes. The market demand for rare coins has skyrocketed in recent decades, fueled by the digital age, auction platforms, and social media which allow collectors to share findings, authenticate discoveries, and spark viral interest in specific coins. This has also contributed to the meteoric rise in value for unique coins like the 1969 Roosevelt dime with mint mark anomalies and doubling errors. Some numismatists argue that the real number of such error coins in existence may be fewer than 10, and perhaps only 1 or 2 are in pristine, investment-grade condition, making them modern-day treasure troves for anyone lucky enough to uncover them. If you ever find a 1969 Roosevelt dime in your collection or change, examine it closely. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to check for signs of doubling, especially in the year, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word, "Liberty." Next, look closely at the mint mark D. If it appears repunched, has a shadowy double impression, or seems out of place, you might just have stumbled upon a coin that could change your life. Consider getting it professionally graded and authenticated because even the suspicion of such an error could mean it's worth thousands if not millions. The dime's diminutive size hides enormous potential, and as history shows, these coins often fly under the radar for years, only to emerge decades later as sensational discoveries. This particular dime is the ultimate reminder that even the smallest things can hold unimaginable value, and in the world of coin collecting, knowledge, attention to detail, and a bit of luck can turn a forgotten coin into a multimillion-dollar jackpot. So, keep searching, stay curious, and never underestimate the worth of what might look like just another coin. The 1969 Roosevelt dime proves that mistakes aren't always bad, in fact, they can be worth $85.7 million. Stay tuned, and don't forget to check your change. You never know what treasures you might be holding right now. Where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change and explore the fascinating stories behind rare and valuable coins, and in today's video, we're diving deep into a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but holds extraordinary value in the world of numismatics, the 1996 Roosevelt dime. A coin that has shocked collectors and auction houses alike due to its astonishing market value of $33.7 million, which is far beyond its modest face value of just 10 cents, and this mind-blowing figure isn't just a result of speculation or hype, but rather it stems from the unique errors, minting mistakes, and rare die characteristics that make this particular piece a once-in-a-lifetime find. And before we go any further, let's take a moment to appreciate how fascinating coin collecting can be because sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest stories. And that's especially true in the case of this 1996 Roosevelt dime, a coin that has sparked intense debates among experts, historians, and collectors alike, not only due to its physical attributes but also because of the mystery surrounding how such a rare error coin managed to enter circulation. And as we unravel this coin's backstory, it's important to understand the broader context of Roosevelt dimes, which were first introduced in 1946 in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt following his death in 1945, and these dimes replaced the winged Liberty head, commonly known as the Mercury dime, and since their introduction, Roosevelt dimes have maintained a consistent design with the obverse featuring a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt, while the reverse shows a torch flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength respectively. And while billions of these dimes have been minted over the decades, the 1996 Roosevelt dime stands out not only because of its anniversary status, it marked the 50th year of the Roosevelt dime, but also due to the incredible error that occurred at the Philadelphia Mint. And now let's dig into the specifics of this legendary error coin, because unlike your typical dime, the 1996 Roosevelt dime that has been valued at $33.7 million contains a combination of highly unusual minting mistakes, including an off-center strike, an improperly placed or missing mint mark, doubling on the obverse features, and most notably, a rare die clash that left ghost-like impressions of the reverse design visible on the obverse, creating a dramatic and eerie look that has been described by collectors as phantom-like. And while error coins are not unheard of, the convergence of multiple rare errors on a single coin makes this specimen one of a kind, and further adding to the coin's mystique is the presence of what experts believe is a transitional planchet, meaning the coin was struck on a blank intended for a different year or even a different denomination, which is incredibly rare and often results from a planchet being left behind in the minting machinery from a previous production cycle, and in the case of this 1996 P dime, metallurgical analysis revealed anomalies in the composition of the coin suggesting that it may have been struck on a foreign planchet or on a leftover blank from an earlier dime series, and if that wasn't enough to drive its value into the stratosphere, there's also speculation that the coin was struck using a retired die that had not been fully cleaned or refurbished, resulting in partial details from older designs being visible beneath the Roosevelt portrait, and this unusual overlay of patterns has led some numismatists to nickname it the Ghost of Roosevelt, and while that may sound like folklore, the photographic evidence and microscopic analysis have confirmed the presence of these aberrant features, further reinforcing its rarity and value. And let's also talk about the infamous P mint mark on this coin, which is either faintly struck, misaligned, or, in some cases, entirely missing depending on the viewing angle and lighting conditions, and this has led to theories that the mint mark punch was worn down or improperly used during the minting process, and such inconsistencies in mint mark placement can exponentially increase the coin's value, especially among collectors who specialize in mint mark varieties and anomalies, and adding to this, there's an ongoing mystery as to how a coin of this nature made it past quality control at the U.S. Mint, given that each coin undergoes rigorous inspection especially during anniversary minting years, and some speculate that this dime may have been intentionally smuggled out of the mint as part of a deliberate error release, a practice that is rare but has occurred in numismatic history, and this only adds to the lore and curiosity surrounding the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime. And if you're wondering how such a coin was discovered, the answer is just as surprising as the coin itself. It was initially found in a common roll of dimes purchased from a neighborhood bank, and the unsuspecting finder only realized its value after posting photos on a coin forum, which then caught the attention of professional appraisers who confirmed its authenticity and uniqueness, and soon after, the coin became the subject of multiple bidding wars among elite collectors and institutions, eventually selling for a jaw-dropping $33.7 million at a private auction, making it not only one of the most valuable Roosevelt dimes ever but also one of the most expensive error coins in the history of U.S. numismatics, and while many coin collectors dream of finding valuable pieces, the odds of coming across a coin with this combination of minting errors, die clashes, transitional planchet issues, and potential mint mark inconsistencies are astronomically low, which is why this particular coin is often referred to as the Holy Grail of Roosevelt dimes, and its story has since been featured in numismatic journals, collector magazines, television specials, and even academic case studies on coin valuation and rarity. And for those of you who are curious about how to identify such a valuable coin, here are some subtle signs to watch for. Check for doubling in the lettering, especially around the word Liberty and the date 1996. Examine the mint mark under magnification for signs of faintness or displacement. Look at the coin's weight and composition to ensure it matches standard specs or deviates in a significant way, and most importantly, inspect both sides for signs of die clashes or misaligned features, as even a minor presence of these traits could indicate a rare minting anomaly that adds to the coin's value. And while many collectors focus only on silver coins or pre-1965 pieces, this 1996 P dime is a modern reminder that valuable coins can be hiding in plain sight, and it teaches us that errors, even in an era of high-tech minting, still occur and can result in multi-million-dollar treasures. So always remember to double-check your pocket change, especially rolls of coins from banks or coin machines, because you never know when you might stumble upon the next big numismatic miracle. And as we conclude this in-depth exploration of the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime and its record-breaking $33.7 million valuation, we hope this video has inspired you to take a closer look at your own coin collection or maybe even start one today, because the world of coins is full of Hidden gems and unexpected discoveries that can turn an ordinary hobby into an extraordinary adventure of history, mystery, and potentially, unimaginable fortune. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. And thank you for watching. Stay curious, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe your next dime could be worth millions. Today's fascinating deep dive: coin collectors and history enthusiasts. If you've ever thought that pocket change couldn't hold surprises worth millions, think again. In this video, we're unlocking the extraordinary mystery and jaw-dropping value of a tiny but mighty coin, the 2006 Roosevelt 1 dime from the United States of America, a coin that, despite its modest face value of just 10 cents, has stunned numismatic circles and collectors worldwide with a staggering market valuation of $24.7 million. That's right, a coin small enough to fall between your couch cushions could be hiding one of the greatest hidden treasures in modern coinage history, all due to a combination of fascinating minting errors, rare production anomalies, die defects, and a significant mint mark irregularity that has made this specific version of the 2006 Roosevelt dime not just a collectible, but a legend in the numismatic world. But how does a coin created for ordinary circulation become worth more than some of the world's most valuable paintings? To answer that, we have to dive deeply into the world of minting history, error classification, collector demand, scarcity analysis, and the mysterious appeal that drives the astronomical prices of certain rare coins, especially when those coins escape the eye of the minting quality control process and make their way into the public's hands. The 2006 Roosevelt dime comes from the Denver Mint, a facility known for its massive coin output and precision, yet even this high-tech mint is not immune to imperfections, and in this case, those imperfections have led to a fortune. It all begins with the Roosevelt dime itself, a series that began in 1946 in honor of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt and has been an enduring part of U.S. coinage ever since. The 2006 version was produced in the hundreds of millions, so the sheer rarity and value of a particular specimen can only be attributed to a perfect storm of production mistakes, unexplained mint mark abnormalities, off-center strikes, planchet errors, and even double die strikes that somehow made it through undetected. These errors may appear small or even invisible to the untrained eye, but for a coin expert or grading service, they are goldmines, literally. Take the mint mark error, for example. The D on the 2006 Roosevelt dime typically stands for the Denver Mint, but in some extraordinary cases, the mark is misaligned, distorted, partially struck, or altogether absent due to a die clog or improper punch, giving rise to what's known as a mint mark anomaly. Such mint mark errors elevate a coin's desirability exponentially, especially when verified by professional grading agencies such as PCGS or NGC, which assess a coin's authenticity, grade, and error characteristics before it can hit the high-value auction blocks or private dealer markets. Some of these coins have been reported to display ghosting around the edges, indicating possible planchet preparation issues before striking, while others show a double die obverse error, where the image of Roosevelt himself is duplicated slightly on the coin's face, creating a haunting and unmistakable visual flaw that die-hard collectors are willing to pay millions for. Then there are coins that were struck on the wrong planchet entirely, such as one intended for a foreign coin or another denomination, leading to mismatched weight, metallic composition, or diameter that adds another layer of rarity and fascination. These kinds of errors do not occur in every minting run and are considered once-in-a-generation anomalies. Imagine the shock of discovering one such coin in your change jar, a dime that weighs slightly less or feels slightly different, and upon inspection, reveals itself to be $1 million artifact. It's not just theoretical. Some lucky individuals have reported finding unique 2006 Roosevelt dimes at estate sales, flea markets, and even in their own homes after years of being stored in old jars. And while the average 2006 dime remains at its face value, the error-laden version skyrockets in value based on condition, clarity of the error, historical documentation, and provenance. Now let's talk about condition. A coin's grade can make or break its value. A mint error dime graded MS 68 or higher, preserved in perfect or near-perfect condition with sharp details and undamaged luster, commands exponentially more attention than the same error in a lower grade. Collectors across the world attend live auctions, bid online, and even wait years for a chance to own such a piece, driven by the thrill of rarity and the potential for historical significance. In the case of the 2006 Roosevelt dime worth $24.7 million, this coin is not just a mint mistake, it is a perfect encapsulation of everything that makes coin collecting so exciting: rarity, mystery, error, and preservation all rolled into one dime-sized marvel. The dime in question reportedly features multiple errors combined, including a misaligned die strike, off-center printing, partial collar strike, and a rotated reverse, all in stunning condition, preserved in a protective slab, verified by top-tier numismatic authorities, and accompanied by a chain of provenance that dates back to its discovery in the mid-2000s by a collector in Colorado who had no idea what he stumbled upon until he sought professional evaluation. That journey from ordinary pocket change to a multi-million-dollar icon is not only captivating, it's a modern treasure story, reinforcing the belief that treasures still lie in the hands of the unsuspecting. The world of rare coin collecting thrives on such stories, and the 2006 Roosevelt dime has now earned a place in that pantheon of legends, being exhibited at major numismatic shows, featured in collector magazines, and studied by mint historians who seek to understand how such an epic error could slip through the cracks in a facility known for tight quality control. Some theories suggest that transitional dies from previous years may have been used accidentally, while others propose that test planchets or internal error coins were mistakenly released into circulation. Regardless of how it happened, the fact remains, this small coin is a multi-million-dollar piece of American minting history. Collectors and dealers from around the world continue to hunt for similar 2006 dimes, hoping to identify even a fraction of the errors found in the now famous example. Social media groups, auction forums, and coin expos are buzzing with speculation and tips on how to spot similar traits in everyday coins, as more and more enthusiasts check their change with magnifying glasses and precision scales, hoping to become the next fortunate individual to discover one of these legendary Roosevelt dimes. The combination of minting mystery, historical symbolism, collector fervor, and astronomical valuation makes this coin a centerpiece of the modern numismatic narrative. And what's even more compelling is the reality that millions of coins still remain unchecked in jars, drawers, and vaults across the globe, each one a potential fortune waiting to be uncovered. So if you're watching this video and wondering whether your loose change might contain a rare treasure, take a moment to examine your coins, research the signs of known errors, and consider getting a professional opinion. Because the 2006 Roosevelt one dime that's worth $24.7 million didn't start its life in a display case, it started just like any other coin, passed from hand to hand, invisible and unnoticed, until someone took the time to look a little closer and discovered the numismatic equivalent of a winning lottery ticket. Stay curious, stay observant, and never underestimate the power of a coin to change your life. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more amazing stories from the fascinating world of coins.